Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Benchwire Season 2, Episode 3. I'm Steven.
I'm Matt.
And we are back. Hopefully, you guys are excited. We got a lot in store for you today, so let's get started.
Yeah, let's get right into it. So, first thing we got to talk about, Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers lasted 4 plays for the Jets. I'm not entirely sure who the edge rusher was, but he got to Rodgers. It was like a chop block or something the tackle was trying to do. He got past him. I think it was on Becton. And yeah, Rodgers tried to escape it and went down, got off the field, got carted off the field, and it came out that it is his Achilles, and he's out for this season.
Yeah.
So I guess really what we should talk about is what is the expectation for the Jets going forward. Zach Wilson, they named him their starter for the rest of the year. Obviously, they can still go out and try to see if any of these veteran quarterbacks want to give them some help, but I think it's going to be Zach Wilson, so let me know. What did you think?
Well, I gotta say, it sucks seeing Aaron Rodgers not being there for the rest of the season. He only played 4 snaps. It's awful.
Yeah.
But I think Zach Wilson will be that quarterback one. They're going to go to the free agent market and obviously sign someone else for depth. There's a lot of names out there. You got Joe Flacco. You got Carson Wentz. Maybe you could trade for a guy in Jameis Winston. Who knows?
Potentially like a Taylor Heineke?
There's a Taylor Heineke available. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of options they can go, but I think Zach Wilson will be the guy. He was their second overall pick not too long ago, but I don't know. What are they going to do?
You kind of said it. They're going to probably go for that free agent market, going to get a backup. I think Joe Flacco does make a lot of sense. He does know that offense. Actually, he probably doesn't, though, because it's Nathaniel Hackett. So I guess, let's think. Who is the Broncos backup behind Wilson? They got someone?
They got Jared Stidham now.
Who was it last year? Do we know?
Last year?
I'm not sure, but regardless, I'm just thinking, okay, well, we got to think of guys that Nathaniel Hackett has probably played with, just because Hackett's offense seems to be kind of unique. Apparently, Rodgers didn't like the chop blocking or whatever the linemen were doing. He thought that, it kind of rushed him to get the ball out, and it's just a really different style of football. It didn't really make the most sense. But yeah, Jets have a great team, so we'll see. Zach Wilson, maybe he can pull a miracle off, but yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely talk more about it this next weekend after they face, I want to say it's the Cowboys.
It is the Dallas Cowboys.
So once
that should be a fun one.
Yeah, once they face the Cowboys, we'll see how Zach Wilson does, and then we could talk more about what their expectations are then. But
yeah,
we didn't really talk about it. Beat the Bills.
They did beat the Bills. What a return by the Hard Knocks guy. What's his name?
No clue.
The Hard Knocks guy.
You better learn it, though, because he's going to be nice.
He's good.
He's going to be a good returner.
He was undrafted receiver, made the roster, and he made a name for himself last night. Good for him, but yeah.
What did you think of Zach Wilson, his performance?
I thought it was enough to get the job done. He seemed like a game manager. Nothing special, but he delivered when he needed to, got the touchdown to Garrett Wilson, and it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think other than that one interception, I felt like there was really some growth from Wilson. I feel like there's a lot more that he could have, forced with the ball, but he did his job, and I want to say, again, he has one touchdown, 1 interception. While I'm looking up these stats, Garrett Wilson, what a catch. What a catch.
Dude, that was catch of the year already, but I don't know. That's the early catch of the year candidate. Right?
Yeah, and Garrett Wilson has such an impact on the game, and he only had 5 receptions for 34 yards.
I know.
And that just shows how good he is, though. That shows how good he is.
More involved.
We didn't even talk about Breece Hall.
Breece Hall,
Home run Hall.
Yeah.
He's a special player. Coming off of an ACL injury.
Yeah.
And he had, I want to say, almost an 80-yard run. It might have been more, might have been less. I don't have the stats here.
It's probably less. But it was a great run.
Yeah, he was 10 carries, 127 yards. It's averaging 12.7.
Man was balling.
But yeah, Wilson, 14 to 21, 140, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Game manager.
Yeah,
that's the
game
best way
manager.
to describe him.
Wilson is going to not Wilson, sorry, Rodgers. He's going to be on the sideline, earpiece, headset on, whatever.
Yeah,
he's going to talk into Wilson's ear.
Nice mentor.
Yeah, and I think that'll do really good for Wilson. So, yeah, I mean, props to the Jets and that defense. Top three in the NFL. Not even a debate. I mean,
I don't know. Josh Allen helped those stats a lot.
He helped his stats, but you got to give them credit where it's due. They got the stops when they needed it, and
yeah, Jordan Whitehead made that bonus, $250K. He had to get 3 interceptions this season.
Yeah,
he got it all in one game.
Yeah, you love to see it. So, I guess that's really all we got for that. Again, prayers out to Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully, he can get a speedy recovery. Man. Won't be back this year, but seeing a lot of people think he's going to retire. I hope not. I'm not ready. We lost Brady. You can't lose Rodgers.
I don't think he'll retire. He's going to come back.
Yeah, he said he wanted to play till he's like 45. So he got.
I doubt he'll play till he's 45, but he's coming back.
This is kind of some breaking news. Tariq Cohen, who was the ex-Bears running back, for a while he was actually one of the better back, maybe not one of the better backs in the league, but like potential-wise, everyone's like, this guy, remember him? He's like Derrick Rose 2.0.
He was amazing in Michigan.
He signed with the Panthers, and he said he's really blessed, very happy. Obviously, I'm happy to hear that. I liked Tariq Cohen. He was fun to play with in Madden. But yeah, I mean, that signing, I don't know.
I don't know why they needed him.
It's a little weird. Maybe they just wanted like a third guy, wanted to give him a chance to make a name for himself again. But I mean,
because who's their backfield right now?
They have Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard.
Oh yeah, they got Chuba Hubbard.
And now they have Tariq Cohen. I don't know if they have like a third running back, like a guy who's kind of been established now in the league for a bit. But
I'll double check. Keep talking.
Yeah, I want to say, listen, Tariq Cohen, if they can get him back on track, you probably have a good 1-2 punch with Sanders and him. But otherwise, I mean, it's just maybe there's an injury that we don't know about. But, I mean, looking at that, they have 3 running backs, and the third one, I'm not really sure who that is.
Raheem Blackshear.
He's like
a special teams type guy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't watch a lot of Chuba Hubbard. I don't think he's a pass-catching running back. I might be completely wrong with that.
I don't think he is.
Sanders, he can catch the ball, but he's not really like that. Cohen, though, that is his, screen passes, everything.
He could be a punt returner, kick
returner. So there is value. There is value to Tariq Cohen. I mean, yeah, what do you think? I mean, you obviously just said that the punt returner, but do you think that's kind of all he's going to be used for? Or?
I think he'll be like a third down back.
Yeah, can kind of do everything.
Yeah,
kind of just like a
he'll
Swiss
be that
Army
specialist on special teams. I think he'll also be on like defending the punt, like going down there trying to make a tackle. Like, he could do that as well. So I think it's a good signing.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the quarterback struggles this past week. Obviously, it's kind of reflective on fantasy. Not many quarterbacks that did good. But I mean, let's talk about like the 3 main guys, right? You got Mahomes, who didn't have a horrible game.
Receivers
it was the completion percentage, which again, a lot of drops. And then the interception wasn't really his fault. In fact, I would be it wasn't his fault. But
Kadarius Toney's
I mean,
fault.
he went 21 of 39 for 226. You don't see that often. Didn't have Kelsey, but you still expect Mahomes to be Mahomes and figure it out. But who knows? Maybe with Eric, is it Bieniemy?
Yep.
Maybe with him gone and not really having weapons, their new coordinator Matt Nagy, maybe he's struggling to, get the best out of Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore and company. But yeah, I mean, like I said, 21 of 39, 226, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was the least of the 3 I'm about to mention that struggled the most, but. Joe Burrow, you had him on fantasy. You know how bad this was.
It was a stinker. Had like 80-something yards.
Yeah, 14 of 31, 82 yards.
Yeah, that was awful.
He might have fumbled.
He didn't turn the ball over. He did not turn it over, so I didn't lose points there.
And then last but not least, from last night, 29 of 41, 236, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions for Josh Allen. He was just forcing the ball everywhere.
He was.
I mean, he said it after the game, right? He said the loss is on me.
It was. That second half was brutal, man.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't.
And I want to say, did he fumble as well?
He did fumble.
Yeah.
When he got the ball back to try and score, they fumbled it, and then the Jets got it, and then I believe got the field goal to make it 16-13.
Yeah, so, I mean, the quarterbacks, they were all struggling. It's also, listen, it's week 1. These are a lot of quarterbacks that don't play preseason, and I think people are really starting to begin, they're really starting to see that if you don't play in preseason, this is what you're going to get week 1. Now, the thing is, they're so talented that they don't need 4 weeks to readjust. They need this week, some training, and then they'll be good to go, I think.
Yeah.
I don't expect that to ever see that again from Joe Burrow. He was wearing a glove, so I'm not sure. I don't
And
know.
he's coming off that calf injury.
Yeah, so like I don't know what he's going through. Maybe he forced his way onto the field.
I don't know.
Maybe he wasn't completely ready.
The Browns' front seven, though, is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I saw the quote. I'm not sure.
Garrett was going off.
I'm not sure who said the quote, but he said right now, after week one of the biggest takeaways is that the NFL defenses are way ahead of the NFL offenses. And that's true. I mean, all the defenses played pretty well. Maybe not the Steelers. Sorry.
The Wink Martindale defense.
Yeah, but then again, you guys were put in really bad positions, turnovers. I mean,
yeah, that was just a disaster. We'll talk about that game later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, you will. I didn't watch it. You have some. You're a Giants fan, so you have.
I watched till the third quarter. I couldn't take it anymore.
But yeah, I mean, do you got anything else to add with those quarterbacks? You think it's just a one week thing? They'll get back on track.
Mahomes will turn it around. It's just not having Kelsey hurt him.
Do you think that they need to make a move for a receiver?
I think they will by the trade deadline, or even get like a free agent. I don't know what free agents are out there, but there has to be someone better than what they got in that receiver room.
I mean,
there has to be something.
Yeah, I mean, let's think. Trade deadline. I mean, we look at some of these kind of bad teams. You got to see like who would they be willing to let go of. I mean, listen, I'll take my L on this. Robert Woods, he looked pretty good on Sunday against the Ravens. A lot of, listen, when the Ravens were able to play zone, such a veteran receiver, he knows exactly where to go and just sit there. I can see a guy like him potentially. I mean, early in the season, just a quick little cheap move, get him to Kansas City, give Mahomes somebody that has been here. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The receiving room, other than MVS, doesn't have like a veteran. Veterans, so we'll see. I mean, that's kind of one guy I think of. You got anybody? You got one name?
If they want to pull the trigger and go out and get Mike Evans, he might be available because I know they don't want to pay him, but it might take some draft capital to do that. But if they want a superstar receiver, you go out and get Mike Evans.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that would be an outstanding move for them.
They should have got D-Hop. I don't know what they were doing, but I guess they didn't want to pay the man. Yeah. So
let's, listen, for a little bit now, we have talked about the Rams. I said, listen, they're in a gray area. We don't really know what they are. Well, they just played a game without Cooper Kupp against the Seahawks. They won 30-13. Stafford, 24 of 38, 334, no touchdowns. I want to say it's Puka Nacua.
Yeah, that rookie receiver, man. He was making a name for himself. 10
receptions, 119 yards. He's a rookie. Tutu Atwell as well, 6 receptions, 119. They looked pretty good. I mean, they look
were
like an established team
in the first half, correct?
Let's find out. Yeah, they were down 13-7. They came back and the defense was able to hold the Seahawks to no points in the second half while they went on to score 23.
Yeah. So pretty good stuff by the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they say it, right? You win the game in the second half. And Sean McVay, he's an outstanding coach.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still, like I said, they're in a gray area. I'm still not sure where they are. But then that kind of brings up the question, and I kind of want to hear what you have to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Rams are just, listen, they're just a good team? Or do you think that the Seahawks, we always talk about players, they can have like a purple patch, which is like 1 year where it's completely just, they exceed their expectations. Do you think that the Rams are good, or do you think that maybe the Seahawks, specifically, let's say Geno Smith, who was 16 of 26 for 112 and 1 touchdown, do you think he had a purple patch, or did the Seahawks had a purple patch?
I would say the Seahawks because they overachieved last year. They won games they shouldn't have won last year. I think Geno's still a good quarterback, but the Rams are healthy now, so look out for the Rams. I think with Stafford back, with Aaron Donald healthy, with that whole team, Cooper Kupp's going to come back eventually. I think they could push for a wild card spot. It might be tough, but I think they could. They got Sean McVay, one of the better coaches in the league. But the Seahawks, I think they overachieved last year for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's kind of why I brought up the whole purple patch thing, is because that's kind of what I was thinking. So yeah, they overachieved. I think they have good pieces. But again, last year, you and I, we talked about it a lot. The Seahawks, they're going to win games. They have a good roster, but they have a lot of pieces that they needed to kind of figure out. And I'm not really sure in this offseason if they figured it out. I'm talking O-line, D-line. The two biggest things in a football team is the trenches. And I don't think that they established it as well as they could have.
Mm-hmm.
And that could reflect on their record this year. Going to the Rams, listen, Cam Akers, they need to try to get the most out of him. He was a guy that when they drafted him, I want to say he went to Florida State. Really good player. And he was 22 carries yesterday, 29 yards. That's 1.3 average.
That is rough. I didn't know that.
And Kyron Williams, 15 for 52, 2 touchdowns, 3.5 average. Again, 3.5 average, that's not even NFL average. You'll see in the season it's around 4, I think.
Yeah, you want 4. That's the good number to have.
So that could reflect on their O-line potentially not being the best at running the ball, but they were able to find it throwing-wise. So if they can get some of these guys going and kind of back to form, yeah, like you said, I think they'll push for that wild card spot. And, Sean McVay and Stafford, it's not really a team that you want to see in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they can very well do their thing. So, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's quickly talk about the Steelers. They lost, I want to say,
30-7.
30-7.
Niners look great.
Now, again, like you said, Niners look great. I feel like everybody knows how good the Niners are. So let's talk about the Steelers here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming into this game, you and I thought the Steelers could figure this out. Obviously, very high hopes from both of us that the Steelers would be able to find some sort of success against that defense. They didn't. Kenny Pickett, 31 of 46 for 232, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The 2 picks were bad, but 31 of 46, they made him throw a ball almost 50 times.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Oh my God.
They had a total of 10 carries in the entire game. So now, obviously, that does tend to happen when you go down quickly.
30-7. Yeah.
But those numbers for Kenny Pickett, you get rid of the 2 bad interceptions. They're not awful against against an elite defense. Sorry, not just a good defense, an elite
Top
defense.
5 defense in the league.
So, I like what I saw from Kenny other than those interceptions. Some of the decision-making could have been better. But last year, all Steelers fans, they were calling for Matt Canada's head. I see why.
Yeah, it was not pretty.
It's not an NFL offense. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he came from. I don't know if he had background in the NFL before that or if he came from college.
Let's look.
While you looked it up, it's just not an NFL offense, and the longer that they take to get rid of him, we're not going to be able to see Kenny Pickett truly become what he was supposed to be or what he will become. I think he will become it. We see here. He was a quarterbacks coach for them. And then he was at Maryland.
Everywhere. He was at Indiana, North Illinois, Wisconsin, NC State, Pittsburgh, LSU, and Maryland.
Yeah. So
he's been everywhere.
I don't want to be that guy, but
he's not
when you don't come from a top school
NFL guy.
as a coordinator, that's not a good sign. He came here as a quarterbacks coach, and they, in-house promoted him to coordinator. I feel like Mike Tomlin just needs to cut ties with him. It's his coaching staff. It's his decision.
I don't know why they kept him. I guess because they finished the season over 500 last year, and they were winning games at the end of the year, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's all I got. They got to get George Pickens involved more. Deontay Johnson's out for a few weeks, I think. Mm-hmm. And then Allen Robinson, he actually looked pretty good. So
yeah.
And
signing, I guess, for them. It might be an overreaction. It's early. It's only week 1, but Allen Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Good signing, but might be early yet. So I don't want to say he's really good. But
yeah. And so let's talk about one last thing here. I wanted to quickly touch on, we're not going to take too long with this, Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. They beat the Vikings.
I told you, man.
Now, we know that the Vikings, again, another team that I feel like personally overachieved last year.
Yes, they did.
Or at least they outplayed what their roster's capabilities were.
They won a lot of one-score games last year.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, 21 of 34. Not the best completion. 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. That's where it comes.
That's a good number
turnovers. No turnovers is the key. And like we saw, the Bucs defense, You mentioned it multiple times. They're still elite.
They still got that Super Bowl roster.
Yep.
Most of the core there.
And Baker, he did what he had to do. He managed the game. They tried to run the ball, didn't really do it, and they were able to split the ball up, though. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, both had over 50. Cade Otton, they got him involved a little bit. It looks like, 2 catches, 19 yards, almost a 10 a pop. I mean, I look at that as they were able to get a first down or something with them, right?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they were able to. The defense was able to really, hold them in that game, and the Bucs they scored when they had to, which was mostly that third quarter. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and they got the field goal at the end that I think solidified the win.
Yeah. I think the Bucs. I think they're gonna be a team that people are gonna sleep on. I think Todd Bowles, a good head coach. I think he knows how to win games in this league, and now he has the roster to do it. It just all matters on the play of Baker Mayfield, and if he could play like this the rest of the season, hey, they might be competing for the division title this year. We don't know. Might be too early yet, but I think they're headed in the right direction.
Gotta ask, Baker Mayfield.
Uh-huh.
If he has a good season, do you think he's more than a bridge quarterback? Because he's still young enough.
I still think he's a bridge quarterback.
He's actually 28. I, for some reason, thought he was going to turn 27. But
I think he's a bridge quarterback.
Wow, time flies, huh?
He's no franchise guy. He's not a guy that's going to carry your team. He's a bridge quarterback, a guy that can win you games, be a game manager. That's what he is.
Yeah, so you would kind of view that then as, listen, the defense is really good. They have a few aging veterans on there, though. You bring a guy like Baker in, try to get some competitiveness, but once those guys are gone, you start to look to, okay, let's figure this out. Let's kind of rebuild a bit. Maybe not rebuild when you still have a good team, but retool, figure out your quarterback situation. Young quarterbacks, they're eventually going to leave their teams. It tends to happen. So, yeah, I think that's all we got for the podcast. And that now puts us portion. Now that brings us to the predictions.
Yes.
Which you will go ahead and take us over with. Thursday night.
Thursday night football.
Yep.
We got your favorite football team.
Yep.
And the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Minnesota Vikings. They're coming to town. ESPN thinks that the Eagles are the heavy favorites in this one, which I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, some of that percentage definitely has to be Kirk on primetime.
That helps.
Because, listen, we didn't play the best. We really didn't. I'm not going to go too much into it, but Kobe Dean's out. Bradbury's out.
Fletcher Cox might be out.
He could be out.
We don't know yet.
So yeah, it looks
There's
like
some injuries.
We got some injuries, some early season injuries. We'll see what happens, but
you still got that O-line.
Yeah,
you still got Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, we need some guys to step up. Josh Jobe, Eli Ricks potentially. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It's not going to be, a blowout. It's going to be a close game. Tends to happen early season again. We have new coordinators. Everybody's learning. It's not like, I think the thing that people tend to find difficult is it's not like we kept one of our coordinators. We lost both of them.
Yeah.
So it's both sides of the ball that are learning a new playbook. So it will take some time. The Eagles, I don't think the Eagles are going to look good, like Super Bowl contention good for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the Eagles, obviously.
Yeah. I would say I have the Eagles as well. Last game wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. They do have some injuries heading into this game. I think that will hurt them, but I still think they have the better roster. The Vikings' defense is not good at all, and I think the Eagles...
They are coached by Brian Flores.
They don't have the players. I don't care. The Eagles have the better offense. They're going to take advantage of that. I think Jalen Hurts has a good game, and I think Devontae Smith has a good game. I know, I said it.
Top 10 receiver.
He's still top 12. But all in all, I got the Eagles.
All right, Ravens-Bengals?
I guess. We got to do Ravens-Bengals. Oh, I got to find it. Oh, I got to go to week 2 now.
Oh, that's why.
There we go. Ravens-Bengals.
So it looks like they're giving
North
the Bengals
matchup.
They're giving the Bengals the advantage here. 51-48. After last week, I'm not too sure. think that the Ravens, they did play better. Now, they did lose J.K. Dobbins for the season, which we didn't talk about. But, yeah, they'll figure it out. They're a running team. They have Gus. They have Justice Hill, who look good. They'll probably activate Melvin Gordon or something like that. So they have more than enough running backs. I think the Ravens are going to win it.
Okay. If I had to choose, I think the Bengals turn around this week. I still believe in Joe Burrow. He got paid for a reason, and he's going to show you why he's still a top 3 quarterback in this game. I think Jamar Chase will have a good game. And overall, I don't know if I believe in the Ravens as much as everyone else is right now. They just beat up on the Texans, who are okay, but if I had to pick a team, I'm picking Joe Burrow and the Bengals in this one.
All right. Go ahead, give us the Seahawks and the Lions, and then you can go ahead and talk about that one.
Okay. So, if I had to pick a team in this game, I would pick the Lions. I think the Lions are the better team overall. I don't know about the Seahawks. I think the Lions are going to give them fits. Jared Goff, I think he will have a great game in this one. David Montgomery, he looked pretty good. Hopefully we see more Jahmyr Gibbs, because I think if he gets more opportunities, he will be a star in this league. And I know it's early yet, but I think if he shows up, he will have a great game. I'm not believers in the Seahawks, so give me the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit it. I think the Seahawks, again, purple patch, they are going to kind of play how they're supposed to play now. And the Lions, they're a good team. I maybe disrespected them a little bit in the preseason rankings, I believe. But yeah, I have the Lions. I think Aiden Hutchinson's going to have a good game against that O-line. And like I said, trenches, they win the games. So I think they'll win that battle on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
So then that leads us to the Colts and the Texans. So we got C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson going at it. One of those rookies is going to get their first win. So currently they have the Texans at 51.4, the Colts at 48.2. I thought that the Colts played pretty well against the Jags, all things considered.
They did.
Anthony Richardson played good. CJ Stroud, he struggled a bit from what I can remember, at least watching the game. Not sure if the stats reflect that or not. But I feel like the Texans' defense is so good. I don't know what obviously you have Ryans, right? But this is going to be a close one. There's going to be a close game. It's going to be a fun game. I'm going to go with the Texans. Think that defense is the difference. It's going to cause Anthony Richardson some growing pains.
Okay. I respect that. Looking at both these teams, I think they're both in the same kind of situation. You both got the rookie quarterbacks. You both got the rookie head coaches. If I had to lean one way or the other, I think Anthony Richardson right now is the better quarterback, and I think he will beat the Texans this Sunday at 1 o'clock. I think they pulled the upset. I don't know if it's really an upset. It's going to be a close game. I really like what I saw from Anthony Richardson. Just needs to protect himself. So I got the Colts in this one.
All right, give us the Bears and the Bucks.
Bears and the Bucks.
I feel like it's going to be the Bucks with the greater odds there. Yep, 52-47. The Bears, man, it one of two things, right? Either the Packers just own them in general, or the Bears just got a little bit overhyped in the preseason. I was part of that. Expected a little more from the coordinators. I thought that they were a little bit conservative with Fields at times, but then they also, again, it was inconsistent play calling. And I do think that play calling will hurt them. Bucks defense, really good. I think the Bucks will win this game. Baker Mayfield's going to have another good game. And, I just think that Bears more inexperienced versus an experienced team that's ready to compete right now.
If I had to choose, I would choose the Bucks. I really think the Bears are not built to win this game. Justin Fields, people are saying, he could be a top 10 quarterback. Sunday showed why he's not a top 10 quarterback. Once again, the Bucks have still the Super Bowl roster around Baker Mayfield. That defense is loaded. Todd Bowles, I'm a big believer in him. I'm not a big believer in Matt Eberflus. Not at all whatsoever. So if I had to choose a team, give me the Bucks in this one.
All right. Show me the Chiefs and the Jags, right? Because the thing with that game is if Kelsey plays, it's going to be a good game. If Kelsey doesn't play, I think that the Jags are good enough to exploit what they got going on. I mean, guys like Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, they're just not enough. You need Travis Kelce. You need a guy that defense is going to game plan around, which opens up the game for those guys that I previously mentioned. What do they got the odds at? They have, wow, that's kind of an overwhelming, that's disrespectful a bit. That's really disrespectful.
Well, think about it. Chris Jones is back in the lineup.
He is back.
Kelce might be back in the lineup.
If that is true, I think the Chiefs will get the win. But let it be known, if Kelce doesn't play, I have the Jags. I think the Jags are more than enough firepower to win that game.
Okay.
With or without Kelce, to be fair. Well, don't be surprised if they, figure it out. So.
All right. I think the Chiefs turn around this game. They're not going to start out the season 0-2. Andy Reid would not let that happen.
Yeah, that's mostly why.
Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Chris Jones just got a deal. He got a deal incentives. It's a 1-year deal worth up to $25 million. I'm happy that he's back. He's one of the better defense players in the league. Hopefully Travis Kelce comes back to play. That's Mahomes' number one weapon because he cannot rely on Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. That was awful to watch. So just give me the Chiefs. I like the Jags, but the Chiefs, they're going to win.
All right, Packers-Falcons. So the Packers, we didn't talk about them. They whooped the Bears.
Whooped them.
Mollywop. They currently have the Falcons with the higher percentage. Again, it's another one where I'm not sure because the Packers with Aaron Rodgers were a great team. They were a scary team to play every single year. Everyone knew that. And Jordan Love, he looked pretty good against the Bears. I like the Falcons. Play calling was a little inconsistent for my liking. They really didn't get Drake London involved. Kyle Pitts kind of came alive at the end of the game, but it was like 1 or 2 catches. Give me the Packers.
Okay. I respect that.
Not enough consistency for me on that Falcons side.
If I had to pick a team, I would pick the team with more experience, and that's the Packers. I think they got the good head coach. What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Matt LaFleur?
Matt LaFleur. There it is. Matt LaFleur. That's how Stephen A. says it.
I gotta remember. He's Matthew. Matthew.
Yeah. Matt LaFleur. Better coach than Arthur Smith. Let's just get that out of the way. Bijan Robinson, he was good. He needs more carries. It's plain and simple. But overall, if I had to pick a team, who's the better team? It's the Packers, Falcons, too inexperienced, so give me the Packers.
Raiders, Bills. I think all I have to really say is that Josh Allen, again, came out, took accountability, said that the loss was on him, and it was. I think he's going to play a lot better, and I think last game against the Jets, hopefully that's a learning experience for him. So, yeah, I think the Bills will turn it around. I think they're also too good of a team to go 0-2 to begin, especially against the Raiders.
All right, if I had to choose a team, these are 2 great teams, but one of them's not really great. It's the Raiders. The Raiders suck. I'm sorry. I know they stole a win from the Broncos, but, the Broncos should have won that game. The Bills, they should have won the game yesterday, but Josh Allen had too many turnovers. I think he's going to turn around this week. Stephon Diggs was on a tear, and he's one of the best receivers in the league. I don't think the Raiders have anyone to really cover Diggs in this game. I really think that Sean McDermott is going to outcoach Mr. Bro, I'm forgetting coach's names today. Wasn't it? Josh McDaniels. I think Josh McDaniels is not a great coach, so give me the Buffalo Bills.
Chargers, Titans. Chargers coming off of a pretty devastating loss. They did more than enough to win that game against the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are a great team. Everyone knows that. Titans, they struggled a bit. Though I think the Titans will end up figuring it out, but it's going to be a really tough task, even though that they are the home team against the Chargers. So, yeah, I think the Chargers, again, it has to be the same story with a lot of these teams. More than enough firepower, better trenches, in my opinion. Give me the Chargers.
I'm going to go with the upset here. I got the Titans over the Chargers.
1 o'clock upset.
I think Mike Vrabel will outcoach Brandon Staley. I'm not a big fan of Brandon Staley.
That's more than a good argument right there.
I think Mike Vrabel will get the job done. Ryan Tannehill, he had a bad game, but he's not usually that bad every week consistently. So, and you got Derrick Henry. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him personally. And DeAndre Hopkins, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's going to go off this game. So, give me the Titans.
49ers, Rams. For the Rams, again, a team that I said is in this gray space, this game will show a lot. They're going to host the 49ers. Niners likely to take over the stadium. But, yeah, the 49ers, amazing team. Going against the Rams, which we're not sure what they are. Still think the Niners are going to win, but we'll definitely see if the Rams can hang in there. And if they can, that probably bodes well for a playoff or a wild card berth.
I think I'm going with the Niners here. I'm really high on them this year. Brock Purdy had a lights out game against the Steelers, showing why he is the number one quarterback and why they traded away Trey Lance. McCaffrey, he's the best back in the league right now. No one's stopping him. I like what the Rams are doing. They won the game last week and stole it from the Seahawks, so it proves that Sean McVay is still one of the top head coaches in the league, but I think they're going to get out-coached by Shanahan in this one, and the Niners will be on top.
All right, we got your Giants going against the Cardinals. It's in Arizona, it's in the desert, and yeah, the Giants, they played really, really bad. Everything went wrong. It was a monsoon. It is what it is. Unfortunately, those things happen, and let's not lie to ourselves. It does seem like the Cowboys own the Giants. I think you wouldn't be afraid to admit that. So, yeah, I think the Giants, though, they're going to get back on track. Should be an easy game. The Cardinals, they're going to play to higher standards because they think that they're better than that. But I think the Giants, their talent that they were able to bring in, Bobby Okereke, Darren Waller, is going to show this game.
I got my Giants. This is a must-win game for Dable and company. Daniel Jones did not look great, but he had no time to throw the ball last week. It was awful. It was god-awful. Darren Waller, I think he'll be more involved this week. Saquon, I think he'll have over 100 yards. I'm not a big believer in the Cardinals and Josh Dobbs. I think the Giants get back on track. They need to win this game because if they don't, they're going to start out 0-3 because they're playing the Niners the week after. So this is a must-win game for them. I got my Giants over the Cardinals.
All right, we got the Jets and the Cowboys. So the Jets without Aaron Rodgers are going to head into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. After what I saw from that Jets O-line, there's just no way that they can hang in there with this Dallas D-line.
Oh.
It's going to be really, really rough for Zach Wilson. Probably going to be some turnovers. Might make him look worse than he actually is. Again, that O-line not doing him any favors. But then again, you also have Dak Prescott, who's going against a really good defense, and for him, that tends to turn in some turnovers for him. So, should be an interesting game. I think the Cowboys will win it, though. I think, obviously, Zach Wilson and that O-line will be the reason for that loss. To be more specific, I don't think Wilson's going to be the main reason, but yeah.
All right. I got the Dallas Cowboys over the Jets. I think the Dallas D-line will destroy Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson will have no time to throw the ball. It's going to be what they did to the Giants O-line all over again this Sunday against the Jets. Yeah, losing Aaron Rodgers, it's awful. It sucks to see. But we got to see what Zach Wilson can do. He could show you that he could be a game manager and do all that good stuff and win you a game. But I don't think he will have enough this week to get it done, so give me the Cowboys.
We got the Commanders at Broncos. So the Broncos, I believe that's another 2 home games in a row for them. Commanders coming off of a kind of a tight win against the Cardinals. That tells me more than enough. I think Sean Payton and the Broncos will get this win. Russ will look good. Russ did look good last week. He didn't look the worst. So yeah, we'll see what they could do. I think they're going to win though.
I got the Broncos. I'm not a big believer in the Commanders right now. I know they did win last week, but they played the Cardinals. No one really special. I think Sean Payton will get this team back on track. They should have won last game. They didn't. Russell Wilson, I still think he can be one of the top quarterbacks in this league, and I think he will prove it this Sunday. So give me the Broncos.
The Dolphins at the Patriots. Listen, no team can go into Foxborough and really just blow them out. So I think it will be a close game. I think that the Dolphins are more than a talented team, but what I saw from the Patriots last week against the Eagles, I liked Bill O'Brien's offense. I think that he really was able to get the best out of Mac Jones. And if they can kind of do that again against another good defense, their defense will be able to kind of keep them in the game. Not sure how they'll slow down Tyreek, but hey, it is Bill Belichick. He could find a way. You never know. Still think the Dolphins are going to win, but I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with the Patriots hanging in there.
I got the Dolphins in this game. Dude, I think Tyreek Hill's he's on track to be one of the best receivers.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. 215 yards.
Dude, he went off 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he is on track to be better than Justin Jefferson this year. That's a hot take. I don't know if that's a hot take, but like he's a guy that has been one of the best receivers in the league. And I think he will show you why this Sunday against the Patriots. So give me the Dolphins.
All right, we got Monday Night Football. We got a doubleheader on Monday night. The Saints going into Carolina. Bryce Young.
No one wants to watch that.
Bryce Young's getting the Monday Night Lights. Yeah, I think the Saints with Derek Carr, they're still a good team. They were able to get their win. They're going to sorry. think they're going to go 2-0. Michael Thomas, they got him involved, and if they can do that with Chris Olave and that defense can kind of just, they're not the same defense they once were, but if they can hang in there and let Derek Carr, utilize his weapons and get all that scoring out the way, they'll be good to go. So I got the Saints.
I think the Saints are going to win this game as well. Derek Carr and that offense is primed to beat these Panthers defense that didn't look that great against the Falcons. I thought they were going to be a better coached team, and they weren't. Frank Reich, what are you doing? I do like Dennis Allen. They need to get Jamal Williams more involved. I don't know what they were doing, but he wasn't a focal point on that offense. But Chris Olave, he looked really good, and I think he will prove why he is a top 10 receiver this week. So give me the Saints.
And last but not least, we got the Browns heading into Pittsburgh. Now, that is a Monday night game I want to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
If Matt Canada is fired. Again, Browns defense looked really, really good last weekend against the Bengals. Made Burrow really struggle out there. Think they're a really underrated defense. Jim Schwartz, he got the best out of those players. He's a great defense coordinator. Eagles fans, we did not appreciate him enough while we had him. I know that he gave up some third and longs every here and there, but yeah, I think the Steelers are going to win the game, but I think that the Browns are going to make it very competitive, and it's going to be a really good Monday Night Football game. But yeah, I got to get my Kenny Pickett win. I love Kenny Pickett.
I don't blame you because I got the Steelers as well. Remember,
oh no.
Remember, Jack Conklin is out for the rest of the season.
You're right.
TJ Watt had 3 sacks last week, and they still lost. But this time, he's going to have 3 sacks, and they're going to win. So give me the Steelers. I think they're going to win. I like Kenny Pickett. He just had not a great game. It was against the Niners defense. It's hard to win that type of game, but I got the Steelers. I think they're the better team, and they're going to win.
Yeah, so that's all we got. We got our podcast. We got our predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, leave a like, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram. We're posting a lot now, and
we got some graphics.
Yeah, I think you guys would enjoy those graphics.
Score predictions. We
got
reels.
Yeah, we're gonna start a new thing.
We gotta announce it.
It's called Shit Take Saturday.
Yes.
We each get 2 pretty shit takes, and by shit takes I mean we're gonna make sure that they're not like god awful. Like I'm not gonna go out here and be like Desmond Ritter's gonna win MVP. I'm gonna make it something that could happen, but it's like, okay, that's a shit take. Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see on Sunday if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, you gotta check our Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, down in our link tree down below.
Yeah, this guy, he shits a lot, and so whenever he's gonna drink coffee, it's gonna be coffee shit Wednesdays. I have my
coffee in the morning, bro. It's not the morning. If we usually record in the morning for our tier makers, I have my coffee here. I'll show them on the next time.
It's every Wednesday. Look for Steven's morning coffee shit rankings.
Power rankings.
Shit power rankings. Coming out not shit rankings, shit power rankings. Yes. But it's like his shit.
Yeah, my shit.
Not that they're shit.
Not Matt's shit. So be on the lookout for that. But if you guys want to see more, drop a like, subscribe, do the good stuff you guys always do, and we'll catch you guys later. Benchwire.
Out.